Hi beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria. In today's tutorial I'll be looking at how to sew and cut this beautiful dress as seen on your screen right now. In our previous tutorial I dropped a video on how to go about the drafting and then some part of the cutting. So if this is what you are interested in, please stay tuned as we're about to start. If you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly subscribe to the channel and turn on your notification bell so that when a new video is posted, you'll be the first to get notified. So in our last tutorial we stopped at this part where we cut out the pattern for the upper bodice. So now I'm measuring the space difference that we took, of which I told you it is 1 inch space difference. So for this back, I've gone ahead to cut out the lining for it also, and then the center front, this is it. I make sure I add ½ inch on the side, and then the main side I added 1.5. So now we'll go ahead with the cutting. So firstly I'm going to unpin this from the cup area. So after unpinning it, I'll just go ahead to open it very well, just like so. I make sure they are all facing each other, just like the way it should be. So, and that is the lining aspect. So now I'm just going to place the lining according to how it is, and then I'll sew it with ½ inch, just as you can see me showing. So after sewing with ½ inch, I've top stitch on it, so I'll just go ahead to fold it like this. Now sorry, there was no light so I couldn't iron it, but make sure when you are doing yours you iron it properly. So I'll make sure I iron it later. So after that I'll fold it in like this. Can you see? So now what we are going to do next is we are going to run a gather stitch on the upper side and then the curvy part, which is the down part. Is that okay? So now before doing that, we're just going to measure the cup size so that we'll know where the gathers will stop. Just as you can see, I think it's 11, and then the upper part we're also going to measure space by space by space, and I think this is 8. So our upper gathers is 8 and the down is what, 11. So I'm gonna ahead to run the gather stitch on it. So this is me trying to draw the gathers. So guys, after drawing it, this is what we have. Can you see our cup is out? So now we are just going to unpin the center front. Just going to remove the lining from the main fabric. So this is what we have after opening it. Can you see? So now we are going to bring the cup and then make sure we arrange it properly. The down will face the down and then the up will face the up. Can you see? So this is me trying to arrange it. So I make sure I put it in such a way that it is arranged properly, because if you don't do it properly, it will give you headache when you are trying to sew, and even when you are done the cup will look funny. Can you see? Because we've measured before, we don't need to be dragging again. So now I'll do the same cup just like you see. I'll make sure I place it the right side so that when I'm done sewing it will come out properly. So I'll just go ahead and sew it, then use the lining to turn it. So guys, this is what we have. Yes, can you see? So I've also used the lining to turn it. You get? So after joining it, I use the lining to turn it. Then I've also turned the side. Can you see? So now I've cut this strap. It's 1.5 inch by width, and then the length it depends on how you want it, but I think this should be around 20 something. So I'll just go ahead to pin it, just as you can see, from the end, like from that armpit side towards the center. I'll sew it, then after sewing it, fold it like so, then take it back and then stitch on it again. You get, just like you're sewing a strap. It's a strap actually. So anything I do to this cup, I'll also do exact same thing for this other cup, just as you can see. Sew it like that, fold it, and then you get it. So after doing that, this is what we have. Can you see? I think our dress is coming out properly, small. Is that okay? So you're going to keep that aside and bring the back. You're just going to what? Unpin it. So this is me removing the pins, and then I'll make sure I arrange it properly. One side back, another side back. Then I place the lining accordingly how it should be placed. So after that, I'll just go ahead to like pin it down. Can you see me? I'm pinning it down properly. So in order for it to stay in place. So after that, I'll just go ahead to sew the upper part, then sew the down, like just like I'm turning the back, you get. So after turning the back, this is what we have. You remember we put that allowance initially and even for the front, but we are not using that for this dress again, you get. So after that, I'll just pin that the center part so that we can be able to join it together with the front. Yes, so at this point you're just going to join one side of the front to the appropriate side of the back, then you're going to sew it with your 1.5 inches allowance we added while cutting. Is that taken? So you're going to add you're going to sew it with your 1.5 inches allowance we added while cutting. So before that, we're just going to like pick our chalk so that we draw the line very well in order for us not to do any mistake. Can you see? I'm just trying to draw it very well so that when I'm on my sewing machine, it will be very easy for me. So I hope this tutorial I'm going step by step, I'm not missing any step. So after sewing it, guys, this is what we have. This is what we have after sewing it. Can you see? I told you we don't have light, but I'll make sure I iron it. Yes, I'll iron it properly and you'll see the outcome. So after doing that, can you see, we are going to measure the down parts so that we'll know the amount of gathers we'll be adding. So go ahead to measure. So this is me trying to measure it properly. You measure it from edge to edge. Can you see? This is how to measure anything that is in this shape. So after measuring, I think we have 36 inches. Yes, this is 36 inches. So that 36 inches, that will be what we'll be cutting for the gathers. So let's bring our gathers. So this is the gathers we have. So the gathers we are going to what? Times 36 by what? 3 inch and 3. That's 36 by 3 so that the gathers will be full very well. You get? So after doing that, this is what we have. I've gone ahead to times it, and the length will be the what? Length that is remaining for the gown to complete, because the upper part was 16, so we'll be adding 22 extra, and what we have is 23 and a half, right? So when we are done, we'll put the remaining excess inside. Is that okay? So now we'll just go ahead to like measure the gathers we have. I told you it is 36 times 3. Is that okay? It's 36 times 3, that's 36 in 3 places, so that the gathers will be very full. So that is what I'm trying to measure. So after that, I'll just go ahead to the sewing machine and run our normal gather stitch. Is that okay? So after running the gather stitch, this is what we have. You know, these gathers, drawing these gathers is not easy as you think, so I'm just taking it gradually. So at this point, I think I'm done with the gathers. Can you see? This is what we have, and when you measure, you have 6. So I'll bring the upper part and then I'll make sure I join it side to side, just how to join your normal down of the clothes. So guys, after joining it, this is what we have. Can you see? Yeah, this is what we have. I think everything is looking okay for now. So now you're going to bring the sleeve. I've gone ahead to cut this strap. I think it is 11 inches, 10 inches by 14 inches, right? So what I'll be doing, I'll come down by 3 inches by the side. Can you see? And I'll go up by 3 inches. That is down 3, side 3. Can you see? Then I'll just curve it just like you're trying to do your round neck. Is that okay? Then after that, I'll take my scissors to cut out the curve on which I just drew. Can you see? This is me trying to cut out the curve. So guys, after cutting it, this is what we have. I have to remove one of the piece from the other one. Then I'll go to the sewing machine, make sure I hold it properly and sew it down. So after sewing it down, this is what we have. Can you see? This is what we have. This is what we have. So that is the sleeve. So now what we'll be doing, we are going to be what? Bringing our elastic. The elastic I'm using, it depends on how you want it tight, or it depends on how broad your shoulder is. You just have to like measure it and see. But for my own, I think mine was 10 or something. So I'll just cut the elastic and then try to fix it inside. So after putting the elastic inside the sleeve on the gown, I'll go out by 3 and I'll also go the other side by 3 inches again, just like we did for the sleeve. Go out by 3 here, go out by 3 on the other side, then I'll just curve it all around like so. Can you see me trying to curve it? I believe the chalk is showing very well. So after curving it, I'll bring the sleeve and then I'll try to place it in the way in which I will sew it on it. Make sure when you are done fixing the elastic, you use a pin to hold it down. So now this is me placing the sleeve. Can you see the way it's going? That is how I'll be sewing it on it. That's how I'll be sewing it. Can you see? So I'll just go to the sewing machine and sew it, then the sleeve will stand very well. So guys, after sewing it, can you see what we have? This is what we have. Can you see? Yeah, that is what we have. So I think I did same thing for the other sleeve also. So what is left now? For the down of the sleeve, I'll cut the elastic that we'll use to put inside to form that puffy sleeve. I think for this part I used like 9 inches, right? So I just when I was joining it, I leave an opening, so I'll just join the elastic. So after fixing the elastic, I'll go ahead to join it. So after joining it, guys, this is what we have. Then what is left now is just the zipper. So I'll make sure I hold it very well, bring the zip, put the zip, go to down of the cloth and join fold it down of the dress. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. I'll fold it down of the dress, do the zip, and then that is all that we have for this tutorial. Please, if you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section. Bye, and see you in my next tutorial. Bye.